All right, Shalom Israel. Gonna make this fairly quick as possible, um, but whatever the Spirit allows. Giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakah Kadash. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, great millstone. Most salutations to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be the elect most high will, to the hopeful extended elect. Shalom. Blessings, men, women, and children. Getting right into it. You know, I just watched a little bit of Pastor Har's video and go to his channel to be completely edified for much of us U.S. for much of U.S. history. Marital grape was not, and we know that word grape, you know what it means, was not legally recognized as crime. And he got scriptures, Deuteronomy 22:28, Exodus 22:16. You know, so um, what is the 666 Mark II GMS Truth channel? And there's of course comments and precepts with the brothers on there. You know, so all the apostles, elders videos, and bishops videos are edifying GMS. So I did look up. Now it came to mind too that and I'm mentioning this to the younger brothers, when we are talking, everything that Jake relates to as far as getting with a woman or first meeting a woman, when he's talking among his boys and even in the public, you know, in the presence of women, it's relates to some that might sound like afflicting someone, or some sort of words of violence, like "Yo, I'm gonna hit it later on," or I'm gonna bang her out," you know, or I'm gonna relating to women's uh, private part as a box, like it's some material, in which it is. It's a box, and not, you know, an empty box is nothing until you put something in it. It's like then, women and go around and have no value unless you put a child in them, and that's why they brag about their children. Like, yeah, it's just me and my children. Well, who put the seed in you to have those children? Um, what's another term? Yeah, I'm gonna beat it up, you know. And they say that these women that talk foul in their lyrics, these rappers, um, they talk like that too. I want you to beat it up, nigga. You know, if you can hit it right. All so why are these women taking these terms? You know, and like we always say too, we can go back to that term, bitch. It means a female dog. Look it up, and it says in the scriptures, she that's a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, which is a female dog which is a bitch. But America have made certain terms, certain words. Uh, they've sensitized the words that where you know, they got their own life form now, to where if you take hold of it, you have to be careful how you use it. So, like, our people think cussing is cursing. It's not the same thing. So, anyway, I looked up ravish, and I'll read the scripture. Lamentations 5:11. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. I looked up, gone down and looked up the word ravished, and it's Aina. Wow, play it right quick.
Strong's H 6031. Ana.
It says Aina,
Ana.
but it's Aina. to be occupied, to be busy with, to afflict, oppress, humble, be afflicted, be bowed down. These women supposed to be humble, man. So it ain't nothing wrong with being ravished. Like when you get with a woman, you lay down with a woman, you basically humbling her. Especially uh, a virgin. We supposed to have virgins, and virgins. If you know anything about even back then, if stories being told about virgins, they they can't help but fall in love with the first man, because he's the one that they have a term called pop the cherry, and he put and it could be really painful and pleasurable to them at the same time, you know, because that they never been penetrated. So they fall in love with that man, and that's why it talks about they got a song by that woman Kiki Wyatt and Avant called "My First Love," or between you know uh, Alicia Keys and Usher talking about "My Boo" means the very first time they were young. They talking about they was young and the very first. So no no woman ever forgets that, um, because she it's a feeling over her of dominance she um, that she loves. Women love to be dominated, some form of fashion. If they're not dominated by their men, they're dominated by the system, and that's why they love all these. They'll smile in the so-called white man's face in a minute and act like little girls again. They have to have some kind of dominance over them, even though they take the role of being dominant, so to speak. But that's all just play, man. Even Lil Kim, as an example, if you know her, she's an old school rapper. She came out, one of the first ones that came out raunchy and talking shit under Biggie Smalls. But, um, and she put a finger all in the camera and talking. But when you see her in the interviews, she's like humble as hell and shit, all nice and shit. You be like, is this the same woman? So anyway, so yeah, it means humble to put down, you know. So if a man, when a man lies down with a woman and he's trying to put it on her, which is usually the case with Jake, trying to put it on her, and if she try to like kind of, like stop, he gonna be like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Let's do this. You know, putting force on her. She's like, I don't think I'm ready. He's like, man, come on, man. Like we've been waiting for this, and if he gets to a point where he start, I guess they call it groping, whatever, touching again, she gonna let him do it. But she might also at the end say, man, he kind of took advantage of me. But it wasn't really that. A lot of these women that lie down with these men, they like these men. They're in love with these men, and they just the timing with them is probably they confused. A woman is emotional and confused. Like I don't know if I'm ready to have a baby, but they ready to get laid out sexually. They just be thinking about that other shit, what their parents would say, the baby. So of course everything is out of course with Jake today. So they can't they don't make the wisest decisions, even on the man's part. Men don't make the wisest decisions when dealing with these women. But there's nothing wrong with humbling a woman, graping a woman. What do you think? Y'all gonna have like a bed of flowers and you know what I'm saying? That ain't all that R&B shit. I mean, they have beautiful music, songs, and all that rhythm of blues. But when the blues, if you blue, you supposed to be a little upset, man. You have a situation of good times, with that show, all the situations of the father not having a job and struggling and all. Yeah, you think he gonna when he lay down with his wife, you think he's gonna lay down as in a bed of roses? He's gonna be like angry as hell, knocking it down, man. Oppression maketh a wise man mad. So, before I ramble too much, occupied, busy with, like that's what they use too. I'm gonna get busy with her, you know. Some of the old school words: to be afflicted, humble oneself, bow down. Now, women are also called spoils. They don't even know that. We're in a state of captivity today. If you take over a nation, you get their spoils. Uh, so when a nation, come on, man, nation take over another nation, they grape their land. Like the so-called white man, they graped this land. They took it by force. They made it bow down to them. They slaughtered the so-called Native Americans, which is one of the tribes of Israel. See, I saw spoils good among the spoils a goodly Babylonic garment. See, out of the spoils won in battles. See, let me look up that word spoil. Spoils. Shalal. Shalal.
Strong's H 7998. Shalal.
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 Prey. It's the same thing. Prey, spoil, booty, and that's why women. That's all they have to offer and show is their booty, because they're spoils. You know, we're in a state of our captivity. The enemy then raped Israel, took the land, plundered it, whatever. Same thing here with our neighborhoods and all, and target us as a, you know, for us to become lowly and project poverty and all that. So what our women do? They show their booty. They show the spoils. Like here we got something left. You know, our nation is really in their spirit. They saying our nation is gone down and is none left. But we got something to offer, and they offer it really, firstly to the so-called white man. Um, Plunder of war, prey. So what is it talk about when the so-called when the cops arrest somebody, they're seizing somebody. They you become a spoil, a prey. You become booty. That's why when you go to prison, you know, first thing you know, they got you learn, or one of the things you learn is a booty bandit in there, because now you've been captive. You become captive. So that when a cop arrests a woman, he's graping her, seizing her. And I did look up the etymology of the word grape, which is, you know, that word. Seize, prey. That's why I just pray, like as in you target or what, um, to seize, abduct, a legal term, carried off by force. That's what the cops do to them. They carry them off, so they graping you. But do they ever say the cops are graping them? No, because they don't know really the definition of the word. They don't know the real meaning. Let's look up pray right quick. An animal hunted for food, that which is seized by any carnivorous animal to be devoured. Booty, right there. See, taken in the chase. You have a woman running from the cops, or even a man, but using women and good. goods taken in war. Uh, you become a prey, and then now they're crying out victim, but you're not really a victim. You've been conquered. Let's look up that word victim right quick. See if it. See, these women cry victim. You can't cry victim because you somebody then took over your whole land. Who you gonna cry to? The oppressor, the one that raped you. Sacrificial animal, living creature killed and offered as a sacrifice to a deity or a supernatural. It's a personal animal killed as a sacrifice. A word of uncertain origin. See, they say it's sudden. A word of uncertain origin. They don't even know what it means. Turn, occasion, application of turn in context of exchange can easily lead to a meaning of exchange. So it's like if the victim could be the exchange with the gods. So if you have an exchange in war, you become a victim, or you have been abducted or kidnapped or something, and they get on the phone and say, well, let me you know what I'm saying, give me my daughter back, give me my wife back, and they be like, nah, you gonna have to give us some money or something. You wanna get your wife back, you gonna have to follow our terms. Sit the $1 million outside the door, we pick it up, we get your wife back. She's a victim, but that she's not and then it's married men that are with the wife, and the wife claim that she is a victim. You can't be a victim. There's no exchange of anything. You belong to your man. Now, if he's trying to kill you or hurt you, you know, in a way to, you know what I'm saying, where he's trying to take your life, that's something different. You can cry out to the community, to the church, or whatever, you know. But usually, in a lot of cases, many cases that are covered up, I would say, or have been fabricated, lied about. Usually, a lot of times when these women are get strangled by the man, get hurt by the man, it's because these women are went overboard with putting, challenging him, putting their hand in his face, calling him a bitch out of his name or what have you, slept with his homeboy or his brother, or you know what I'm saying, or his father, some wicked ass shit. And then when so that they can't be victims, they're just wicked ass women, man. You supposed to be in a humble state to cry out, and everybody should come running. But these women are not crying out, and they supposed to be supervised under their father first. Their father grows up. He could be a young man. He could be 15. He could be 13, and have a child, and grow up, and his daughter become of age. You know, to where and she's supervised under his wing until she's let off to become somebody's wife. That's structure and that's order. So when a woman grows up, like a marriageable woman grows up like that, she has everybody in, as a supervisor to her needs of her growing up as a young marriageable woman. Um, Her father, her uncles, her brothers, as protection all around. But these women want to be independent, and they want to go out there and show their booty, show their ass. So what, they end up getting raped, seized. If you go out there, even as a man, you go out there and show your ass, and you act up, and you acting drunk in public and riding around and in a drop top, and you laughing and standing on top of the car dancing, or while it's moving, or you set up, the cops are gonna come up to you and say, what's going on here? Like, he gonna seize you because then you don't look supervised. You don't look like you have any order. Like, what these people out of order over here. So that's what it looks like, and that's what it is with many of you women. Most of you women, you're out of order, and you need to be supervised. So guess what? Sometimes you're supervised by a man taking power over you and graping you, seizing you, because you out of order. You're not humble. So man, humble. The Most High humbles people. He's gonna humble these nations. He humbled Israel. Like what are we in this state for? Because we didn't follow the laws of the Most High. So he said, I'm gonna humble your ass. When Israel become prideful, especially these sodomites that said they show they sin of Sodom and they hide it not. They proud. Most High gonna take their asses down. He gonna humble their asses, and they're gonna feel violated, spiritually violated, and abused, and saying that's why they be crying out with all these these protests and all that. Now, y'all are not victims. There's no exchange for that. It's only death. It's only missiles. There's no Most High is not exchanging as a gift. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't give Most High a gift to keep on what do you call it, to explore or live as a sodomy, live in sodomy, and the same thing as whorism. And that's what they do through these churches. They feel like, well, yeah, let me, just give my money in tithes for my sins, and they think the Lord is still dealing with them. So it says in the scriptures, "You have fallen by your iniquity, Israel." So and it says we're in captivity. We're in our captivity to this day. That's what these women don't understand. We're in a state of captivity. That's why we have no house, no city, no kingdom right now. You're not supposed to go around showing your ass and getting on YouTube, making an independent page and podcast and you're supposed to be like, damn, we in war. Anything could happen to me. Women don't really walk at night no more because they know they're getting grabbed up. And now they talking about on TikTok like we need to bring our women, our daughters home. We need to so and so missing, so and 100 women missing, 1,000 women missing, more missing, and you wonder like, damn, people be feeling sorry for it, but you wonder like what somebody, most of these women probably ran away. Most of these women probably was on TikTok showing their ass, and a man looked at it and said, "Oh, look at this female. She's out there being independent, got a little money, got a body. She looks cute. I'm going to take that." A lot of these men that do go into this, are they have wives. What about those threesomes that these women allow? They allow another woman into their home, or they'll have a threesome with two men. What about that? Nobody talks about them. Nobody talks about how nasty they are doing that shit, or damn, you allowed men to do that to you. That's how you know that these women are hypocrites, man. They show no accountability, you know, no accountability for their actions, and a lot of them are going to get raped. In this Jacob's trouble, they're going to get raped, man. And it says that they ravished the daughters of Israel. Let me go back to that. That's what nations do. They take over. They mean business. This ain't no silly shit. They mean war. When them bombs start flying, they mean business, man. Or when they start shooting at their target. That's why let a woman go to war. She gonna be like wanting to bring her ass back home and shit. Like, oh, I can't do this. Proverbs 16:19. Better is it to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. They're dividing the spoil with the proud, showing they bach, giving they ass, showing they ass, giving them booty, the spoils. Like this is all we have left. So-called white men, these nations, they go to these other nations too. They go to, uh, they marry these Chinese people too. These Japanese people too. They marry these Africans too. This is all we got, and they end up being booty. Cause what if they don't really like you, or they come to find that they don't like you, they say go back, take your ass back to America, or take your ass back to the ghetto. These so-called white people do the same thing to them. You want Keisha, you want to act up? Take your black ass back to the ghetto. Oh, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. Well, get your ass in line. That's all they are, spoils, man. It's just a make believe world that they live in, that they live by these platforms that they have as independent women, which if that goes out, they have nothing left. They don't have no integrity. They don't have no spirit in them to be of any value. That's why they function off this material stuff. Like I gotta have a car. I gotta have a diamond on my finger. They gotta have an ass. They gotta have titties. They gotta show it. They gotta let everybody see it. Because if not, they don't. They're not. There's nobody inside. There's nobody home. Go back to that. So we lost the war. We lost wars and we become a spoil. Ravish. Let me go back to that word. And even it says the scriptures too in the Apocrypha, the houses shall be rifled. Um, they ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. Lamentation 5 and 11. I think this is the one I was talking about too. Zechariah 14 and 2. For I will gather the nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Now, let me go to that word ravished. Same thing. Well, that says shalal, yeah, to lie down. So they gonna come with their rifles and say lie the hell down, to lie of sexual relations. You think they're gonna be nice to you and making love to you when they come in and take you? Now you might have a man, a Edomite man, or any kind of man, but and he'll be on the news for a grape, and they be like, oh, he grape this, and he grape, because they of course they look for the humble and the meek, you know, and you got to do it like a orderly fashion. But we look for the humble and meek too. Most High is looking for the humble and meek. He ain't looking for no aggressive, over butched woman and shit as his bride. You know, so people think, oh, it's just, no. But this is the same man that got a wife at home and children that he loved and taken care of for 30 years. And he's probably 50 years, and he see some young and tender and that needs to be humbled because she's out there showing her ass. She's out there in the midnight hours of the day and no supervision. Of course, that's what a man's gonna do. But in the public eye, he's the worst man ever in life. But guess what? That's how he met his wife. He was like, damn, I gotta get with her. It was just more formal or whatever. He probably met her at a dance or whatever. But he's like, man, he looked at his wife, the same way when he met her. Like, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna take that down. You know. And she became his wife. Had children with him and everything. So that's what's supposed to happen, man. And that's what Jake, his words said. I'll take that down, man. You know. So anyway, hopefully it was edifying. To the next video. Shalom.